Jimmy and I are excited about today's guest, Earl Endrich, who runs a top-performing team based in Delaware, and we're looking forward to diving into that conversation.
Now, one of the things that was pretty cool about this as we went through it, Rajeev, that I really enjoyed was to think about what is it that a top-producing team leader is, how are they utilizing this AI to be able to effectively continue to grow their business, even in a time when most people are seeing some declines in their business because of the number of transactions. When he started talking about how he's using it for efficiencies, also how he's using it for his productivity, and also in some of the communications he's doing, those were things that I know that when you get done with listening to this, you're going to have some actionable steps that you can put into use in your business immediately. So without further ado, let's get to it.
Welcome to Real Estate AI Flash, the podcast dedicated to real estate professionals to demystify AI and give you practical strategies that you can apply to your business today. I'm your co-host, Rajeev Sajja.
And the other co-host, Jimmy Burgess, and we are excited for you to be a part of this. If you haven't had a chance yet, make sure you go out and that you subscribe to the podcast. Also, we would really appreciate if you could leave us a review. It helps us spread the message that as a real estate community, we are stronger together. Now let's get to this episode.
Welcome to another episode of Real Estate AI Flash, where we bring select speakers and topics that demystify AI to help you, the real estate professional, to grow more your business with AI. And today is our inaugural guest on this podcast. So I'm so excited to have Earl Endrich here from serving Delaware and southeastern Pennsylvania. And we can't wait to dig into it with Earl. So welcome, Earl.
Yeah, happy to be here, Rajeev. Thank you. I'm hanging out with two legends of the industry. So this is really exciting for me too, man.
Yeah, and you're just back from a cruise too, you know?
Yeah. I'm relaxed, and ready to go.
Don't sell yourself short, Earl. Give me some ideas so that everybody understands kind of the numbers your team does, if you don't mind, transaction-wise and dollar volume sales-wise for 2023.
Yeah, 2023, we did just under 100 transactions. I think it was 97 at around 43 million. So
yes, killer.
We try to move and shake.
Main thing about that is this man knows what he's talking about. And what I love, Earl, is the fact that obviously even in a year when a lot of people had their businesses pull back, yours going up 15% and then stretching the goal going into next year in excess of 20% that you're looking for growth. This is going to be fun to talk about exactly what you're doing differently, because as we know, some of the things that you did last year, you're going to improve on some of those things. So Rajeev, I think this is going to be fun for everybody to hear a little bit about how the team is using AI really to continue that growth, despite what some other teams are seeing as far as some pullbacks.
Yeah, I mean, Jimmy, you talk about somebody is going to have their best year ever.
Yeah.
And Earl set a goal for his team to do 52 million, which would be their best year ever. So they're obviously doing some planning on how to execute this, because that doesn't happen by accident. So Earl, if you want to kind of dive into some of the stuff that you talked about business planning, and how are you leveraging AI to kind of drive more productivity forward, and we can have a conversation around that. So love to hear your thoughts.
So every year we try to take a day and as a team and go over our business goals, reflect from the year before, of course, but what is the plan for what we're doing for the next year. This was our first year we used AI to actually really plan the agenda, which is actually take a lot off of our plates as me and the support staff as well. But really kind of asking the questions, can you ask us 10 questions that would a $100 million producing team would do in a business planning session? So that actually helped us develop it. And then, of course, you can go in from there. But making the plan for that, especially, that's a pretty lofty goal for us. I mean, that's a big jump. I think we can do it, especially with this year, which everyone expected to be a little bit of a pullback. And it was. For us to still stay steady, I was pretty excited. So still diving into AI. I know I've learned a lot of it from you guys, but I'm always trying to enhance on.
So Earl, when you're doing that, I mean, you mentioned about just putting in there what would be some of the agenda items and helping you do that. Did you use any of that, any Chat GPT or AI in any way to help you kind of get some ideas on some things you were doing, or was it mostly on the planning side of getting ideas on the agenda for your meeting?
Well, so once we kind of came up with the agenda, then I would elaborate on certain aspects of it. So, of course, lead gen's huge. So I like to ask it as if. So obviously we're going for $50 million. Well, I wanted that as if I'm $100 million producer. So, if we can get anywhere, close to that, that'd be awesome. But lead gen, it would break it down. And we were a referral-based business for the most part. The majority of our business, I think it's 87%, comes from the referrals of our past clients, sphere of influence. We're big on agent-to-agent referrals. So having to clarify that, I had to take our database, and I have a lot of notes in our database, and I even taken some of our reviews and have it kind of synthesize and come up with our 6 avatars of our clients. So when you're looking at, if you're running a business, majority, or I think solely, I don't say solely, mostly by referral, I want to know who are the main people we're serving and where are some commonalities in that we can kind of try to focus on. So I know a lot of our clients are moving to Delaware, and from different states, New Jersey, New York. Delaware has a pretty lower tax bracket. So that was a big eye opener for some of us. And then even young professionals, people that are downsized. And so kind of building that little avatar, it did a great job at really kind of zeroing in on it, focusing.
So what about that as far as what was the data you put in for it to kick that out to you? Were you just putting in names or the types of clients, ages? What were you putting in to get that broken down for you?
So in our CRM, I have their names, locations, where they moved from. I even have what types of food they like, where they work, activities, like I said, I'm big into Peloton, as we talked about before. I would like to know if they're Peloton people or if they like to work out or do they like to golf. So all that information's in there, and I can pull it out as some type of Excel sheet, and I upload it right into Chat GPT. So it makes it simple. If you have the paid version, you can kind of ask a few different questions to clarify certain things, but once it gets in there, you can really zero in.
You know something, Jimmy? I mean, the year of personalization, right? Everybody likes personalization. We've talked about Netflix, 80% of people watch the recommendations because it's really personalized. And now what I'm hearing from Earl is he's taken all his client data, personalities, traits, and putting it in and kind of coming up with those personalities so you can actually write your unique selling point and talk to people that fit that mold and going forward. So I think that's what AI is powering him to do. If I could synthesize what he just said, that's cool.
Yeah.
Well, another one is reviews too. If you take your reviews and you can ask it, what are 10 common phrases or what commonalities within these reviews, it'll break those all down, and you can kind of go from there too. Especially if you look at advertising, marketing, you really want to focus.
Yeah, so good, Earl. Hey, Earl, obviously with the amount of communication you're doing with that many transactions, are you using it to help you create some efficiencies in your communication at all, or with the team communication, any of those areas as well?
We do use it when we get email or writing emails or text messages and things of that nature. I will use it to help actually draft some of them to appeal to some of those avatars, I call them. So that actually helps. On top of that one tactic, your tool, you kind of can layer it in with the way you speak to certain people. We do use it a lot just to kind of get ideas on communicating with them. We do a lot of events, follow-up, pop-bys, notes, things like that. So getting ideas from that for them, that even just to keep our touch points in there, we try to at least touch, maybe 2 or 3 times a month if possible. So it kind of gives us ideas on that.
So Jimmy, you don't know this, but Earl hosts an amazing client appreciation party that I need to make it to one of those parties one of these days.
What does this look like, Earl?
His most recent one was driven a little bit by AI for ideas, is what I'm hearing a little bit here.
Well, and we try to, and then once we have the idea, then we try to elaborate on some fun things with it. Our next one is going to be, I think, the 17th of February. I don't have it in front of me, but it's the casino night. So, really? And it's, the AI actually gave us some of the ideas on bringing in some vendors to support some of the prizes. We usually have some door prizes. Usually it supports the vendors, and our clients can come and have fun. They're not bringing any money, and we can, call it Endrich bucks. So get $1,000 of Endrich dollars, and they can gamble away and have fun.
So if you're like me, Jimmy, if you suck at gambling, go to Endrich gambling night. You're not going to lose any money, but have a good time.
Oh yeah, hey, you might walk away with like a Yeti or something.
There you go. Yeah.
With some false confidence too, possibly. But listen, Earl, one of the things that's great about this is obviously talking about some of the things that maybe you're excited about. Listen, spending the time that I've gotten to spend with you, I can just tell, obviously, your business doesn't grow unless you're excited about it and you're really passionate about it. What are you excited about in the coming year? Anything in particular, AI or otherwise, as far as what you're looking forward to this year?
I mean, I'm excited for our team. I'm excited for our growth. I mean, there's 7 of us on the team, and we're coming into this year really pumped. I mean, I hate to look at it this way, but there are going to probably be less transactions as a whole, and I look at that as our opportunity to gain some market share. So we're the ones that we grow with relationships, and we really try to build strong bonds with our clients, and we found that gives them confidence to refer their friends and family to us. I usually let everyone know when we first meet. I say, we want to do such a good job for you that you just can't wait to tell all of your friends, family, coworkers, just random people at Starbucks all about us. So that's kind of our plan, and that way they have our business in their hands. So we're just excited to kind of keep growing.
Yeah. And Jimmy, Earl's 87% is not something to shake a stick at. Referral. I mean, his business coming from that, right? I mean, that's
incredible.
The other one that I really, Earl, I don't know if you remember at convention last year or sometime, you shared with me that you get what percentage of that comes from agents outside the market that you've actually met at conventions and events you go to, like 20 some percent, I think.
So last year, I think it was 21%.
That is
from conferences and events. Yeah,
that's awesome.
Earl, how do you stay in touch with those people to generate that many referrals? I mean, you make the initial. I mean, a lot of people meet people at convention, but how do you stay in touch with them or stay memorable with them?
So this past year, I traveled to a lot of them, and some of them were similar conventions with similar people through whether it's the Buffini Network, Berkshire Hathaway, or Tom Ferry or something of that nature. I'm not going to do as much. Last year, I did 15 events. That was definitely staying in touch with people, but we're just started this actually relatively recently where we have a nice postcard come out, just kind of a little gently reminder of our location, maybe some email with some information. Kind of similar how you do it. And I'm really going to get into video. That's a big thing. I think we were talking before. That's one of my goals for 2024 is to master, well, maybe not master, but get better at some of the video and social media.
Yeah.
And Jimmy, I'm starting to see Earl's videos and they're coming along. So
that's great.
He started that journey already. So Earl, I know you're based in Delaware and your team sort of serves the whole state of Delaware and then southeastern Pennsylvania and surrounding areas. What is the best way that we got a national audience, listening to this. So what is the best way for people to reach you?
You can go on my Instagram. It's Earl Endrich _realtor. If you Google me, I'll come right up. So, Facebook, LinkedIn, you can email me at earl.endrich@foxroach, or you can just text me, 610-496-3838.
Yeah, we'll put in the show notes too. So
yeah, you can't hide a pro. You can find Earl. Just Earl Endrich. You just Google.
There's not many Endrichs that are doing really well in Delaware, so you'll find them.
That's great. Earl, this has been fantastic. Listen, thanks for your willingness to share with the real estate community as a whole. And I know that you've gotten some value out of this. So if you have, make sure you reach out to Earl, let him know how much you appreciate it. We'll talk to you guys soon.
This podcast has been produced by TSC Studios. Music is courtesy of Soundstripe. Audio and video editing is provided by Noah Escobar. Graphic design by Melinda McKnight. And special thanks to Jordan Wilson of Your Everyday AI for the inspiration and expertise.